Thưa quý vị, đề nghị quý vị đại biểu, quý vị khách quý cùng với toàn thể những người hâm mộ hãy cùng chào đón hai đội bóng ra sân trong trận bán kết Super Cup ngày hôm nay. Câu lạc bộ PSM Makassar, Indonesia và câu lạc bộ Công an Hà Nội, Việt Nam.
Ladies and gentlemen, may we now invite all the distinguished guests and football fans to welcome the two teams onto the field for today's Super Cup semi-final match. PSM Makassar from Indonesia and Công an Hà Nội Football Club from Vietnam.
A very good evening to you and welcome to the Hangday Stadium. It's time for us to get started right here in Vietnam with another thrilling encounter. This, of course, is going to be the second leg of the semi-finals between these two clubs from the ASEAN region. Yes, this is the ACC, or better known as the ASEAN World Club Championship 2024-25. And after we've cleaned out, well, all the other teams, we've got to the cream of the crop, the last 4 teams, one from Vietnam, one from Indonesia, and 2 from Thailand. Who will make it to the finale? Let's find out. PSM Makassar of Indonesia, of course, won the first leg 1-0, and that was on home turf. Keep in mind the fact that this is Vietnam. This is also the comfort zone for Công Hanoi FC. And let's find out how they perform here today. They've got to win this at all costs. And do keep in mind the fact that they've got to win it by at least a 2-goal difference. So we get started with the action right here at the Hangday Stadium. It's been a very, very interesting time for us. We had that beautiful singer earlier to, well, entertain us. We might show you a clip of that if we can later on, but stay with us.
Ladies and gentlemen, April 13 marked a historic milestone from Vietnam. The day our nation was fully reunified after a year of conversion.
Trong không khí tự hào phấn khởi đó, hôm nay chúng ta
cùng milestone day here for Vietnam.
giữa hai đội bóng xuất sắc đến từ Việt Nam và Indonesia.
In this pride of pride and celebration, we now gather here to witness the semi-final match of the Super Cup between two outstanding teams from Vietnam and Indonesia.
Đến dự khán trận đấu ngày hôm nay.
Well, just in case you didn't know, well, today marks the end. It's the victory of faith. It marks the 50 years since the end of the Vietnam War, and we are all happy about that. Everyone is. So 50 years, it is a very important and a very emotional celebration for the people here in Vietnam. And what better day than to have such a wonderful game to also join in with the celebrations of such a special occasion, and something, of course, that was put into the past. So 50 years of national pride, and it's going to be very, very interesting. Let's get into the game in just a little bit. Let's also remind you of our starting lineups for the day. Both teams have gone in with different formations, and that, of course, is very coach reliant, I would say. And before I get on with anything else, let me also remind you, well, my name is Glenn Mascarenas, and I'm here to take you through the action of this second semi-final, or the second leg of the semi-final between Công Hanoi FC and PSM Makassar. Very, very interesting game. Now, straight down to our starting lineups. It's going to be Nguyen Philip, who will be in the goal for Công Hanoi, joined in defense by Tran Dinh Trong, Boi Hoang Viet Ang, and Hugo Gomez. You've got Pendan Jason Kwong Win and Lovan Duo, who will man the wing positions. Victor Hugo Rosa and LPT Long will be in the midfield positions. Up in strike, you've got Phan Van Duc and Nguyen Quang Hai, who will support Alan Sebastio. As far as PSM Makassar are concerned, Mohamed Reza need the goal. In defense, he will be aided by Victor Luis, Yuran Fernandez, and Siarul Lasinari, along with Mohamed Dafa Salman. You've got Mohamed Rizki on the left wing and Victor Detan on the right wing, two very strong players. Mohamed Latir Fall will be in midfield along with Mohamed Dafa Salman. Now, Akbar Tanjung, Victor Detan, Nermin Halyeta will be relied on for strike. Daisuke Sakai is the main striker. Our referees for today, our main referee, of course, is Kim Dae-yong of the Korean Republic, and he's being assisted by Kwak Seong-sun. As far as our video referees are concerned, well, that's Sivakon Pu Udom of Thailand and Pansa Chaisanit of Thailand. Just going to run you through our referees again, because I do believe that these are our unsung heroes. Kim Dae-yong of Korea, assistant Kwak Seong-sun, and our second assistant is, of course, Mohammed Mu Azib bin Zainal Abidin of Malaysia. Our fourth official is Razlan Joffrey bin Ali of Malaysia. Alexandre Poking, the man in charge of Công An Hanoi FC, and we'll talk about him at length later on. He is going in with the 3-4-3 formation for his team. Fernando Tavares from Portugal, and he's the man in charge of PSM Makassar, just 44 years old. Had a very strange career as a footballer, retired when he was just 23, and he's got he really studied. He's got a license that is the highest qualification you can get as a coach in Europe, and was given to him by the Portugal Football Association when he completed the course. We'll talk about him at length as well. So Tavares is the manager for Makassar, PSM Makassar, and for Công An Hanoi FC it is Alexandre Poking. Quang Hai is the, well, captain today for team Công An Hanoi FC. Let me also remind you that Hugo Gomes also does wear the captain's armband sometime. Just spoke about him, and there he is. He's a menacing lad in the defensive line, but Quang Hai will be the man in charge today with the armband. For PSM Makassar, it is Yuran Fernandez, number 4. There he is right in front of us. So about time that we get started with the action. Let's find out which of these two teams will pull it off for the victory here today. And into the game we go with Kim Dae-yong, the referee, signaling it off. Well, for the longest period of time, we do know that the ASEAN Club Championship was a concept that was waiting to happen. And you know, we've got the Asian Championships that really are exciting, and there's no doubt about it. And I'm always going to support them. And there is something about the ASEAN region, or the ASEAN Football Federation, that kind of tends to be very different. It's very intense in these areas. Take a look at the stands, and you'll know exactly what I mean. Now, the club championships differ from the countries, but as far as this game is concerned, and as far as this contest is concerned, it's just as intense as the ASEAN countries going up against each other. So it's something to wait for. Lovely crowd here today. There used to be around 22,000 people who could have been seated here, but then we've had a bit of a problem with the B section of the stadium, which is why the seating was dropped down to 15,000, but I think it's pretty much a packed house. Might be 2 or 3 extras in there, you never really know. Still looking to get started here. The Bando, he's been very impressive. It's straight back here to Hugo. It's definitely, well, the comfort zone that I did speak about earlier. Remember, the Vietnamese club do have the home crowds behind them. They are playing on turf that is pretty much their turf. It can't get any better than this. That kind of support. Here's Levando. He's been prolific in his striking for the club. Levando, of course, has 4 goals to his credit in the ASEAN Club Championship this time, and along with Leo Artur, who has got 4 goals as well. Works mainly as a winger down the right, but he's got a good bit of pace, Lavando, and will be interesting to see what he can do here today. Straight back to Hugo. Still just about testing the waters here. Tongan Hanoi. Great pass there from Boy Hong Vietan. Changing the direction a little bit, getting it down to the left region. Van Van Duck now. There might be something in here. A chance here to push it in. That would be such a golden opportunity missed. Alan Sebastio right there in front of the goal. Oh, they're definitely going to rue this one. This miss might just prove to be expensive. Well, it was difficult to gauge the bounce, but you've got to do everything you can in a contest like this. You can't be sitting in front, get the ball plumb in front of you, and then waste it. I think that's a little bit of food for thought. Trying to make a few inroads here was Javieta. Nerman. Javieta, he's a big lad. And by that I mean tall. He's got a good bit of height on him. Can cover a lot of ground. He's quite fast. Believe one of the most important things, well, in a contest like this really depends on what your incentive is. What is your, well, the kind of passion that you carry onto the field. Very easy move there from Guai Hong. I don't know in which part of well, the continent you're really catching this from, or on foreign shows, so that's a good save. Allen denied by Mohammad Reza. The PSM keeper just really quick to act there. Excellent reflexes from him. Still another chance here, but this time it's not going to find its way through, and that's well, Jason Kwong. The number 4, Jason, pendant to Jason Kwong win. Not the smartest header, but close enough to just create a few worries for defense of PSM Makassar. So it's about it's been a bit of a humid day in these spots, and it's actually very humid on the ground. Very easy for me to sit back in the air conditioning and talk about it. But 81% humidity, about 28 degrees Celsius temperature. There's been a bit of rain predicted, a little bit of lightning and thunder showers, I would say, but I don't know whether that's really going to materialize, and I hope it doesn't. But having said that, you've got to keep in mind the fact that it never gets easy for, you know, the athletes on the pitch. It's always going to be a bit of a bother, especially in very humid conditions, and 81%, it's a bit much. So it'll be interesting, because most of the lads from Tongan Hanoi are used to playing. And this temperature, and to be fair, so are the lads in Indonesia. So. I do like the way that the home team is taking this attack forward. Yeah, you know, trying to put on their best show. It was long earlier with the ball to try to make a few inroads down that midfield area. And create a few worries down that left area. That's Jason Kwong Win. He does work really as a left winger, and he's got a handful in that region. Oh, on that side of the pitch. believe that Kongan Hanoi are really keen on nailing that first goal. The intent has been there. It's just about being able to convert that into reality. Just a little over 7 minutes done. Remember, on aggregate, of course, PSM Makassar do lead by 1 goal. And you've got to keep in mind the fact that if Kongan Hanoi are to progress, they have to do it, of course, by winning this game by 2 goals, a 2-goal difference. Good defensive moves there from Victor Luis. Able to dispel the danger just at the last minute. It certainly looked like Kongan Hanoi was going to get a bit too close. Levanto was asking for it. Very timely move to get a foot out there from Victor Luis. Reza. Was actually going through, well, the lad who will lead the strike here for PSM Makassar, and that is Helieta. He has been their main striker in the ASEAN Club Championship. He too has 4 goals to his credit, just like from the opposition, Levanto and Leo Arthur have 4 goals each. Interestingly, Helieta is, I was just talking about his height a while back. He's the number 99. He's played for a couple of teams before, just 27 years old, comes from Slovenia. 6'5". That's what he is. And it's very, very interesting because he really is a big lad. I don't know if you remember, you know, England's Peter Crouch, who did have the height advantage. Contrary to all thought, it is players like this who do make a difference. Another wild one flashed forward. I don't know whether he was aiming for goal from a distance. It looked to have been, but Jason Kwong win. Definitely there's no chance of finding anything there. So interesting times here as we've crossed the 10-minute mark. There still hasn't been any real, well, moment that we are going to, well, celebrate as a neutral spectator. That's always going to be an advantage to that. You just enjoy the game more. I'm not saying I don't support clubs, but let's enjoy this. Fairly well worked out defense there from Tavares' men, and I do believe that PSM Makassar, well, they certainly have their defense organized. They've been able to come close every time there's a player from, well, Kongan Hanoi gets too close for comfort to their goal. Been a while since Nguyen Philip did get some time with the ball, and I think that PSM Makassar just trying to change that. It's well taken away. It's Fanmon Duck now. Opportunity, and Akbar Tanjung will take it. First misdemeanor that we've actually seen on the pitch. the sole goal scored for PSM Makassar against Công Hanoi was scored by Euron Fernandez. He is the captain of the team, the number 4. It will be interesting to see if he can get up close, because Haliata did not score in that previous game. Doesn't really matter who scores, does it? What really matters is, well, who wins the game. So if you did, and whoever contributed towards that score, well, it's just well taken and gratefully accepted now. Here's Boy Hong Viet. It's off to Hugo Gomes. Hugo just about trying to stretch that across to Jason. Hugo. Here's Levanto. Jason trying to create an opportunity down here. Levando will get to it. That could be a bit of a problem, just standing right there in the path, and I think that he's done exceptionally well here. Golden opportunity missed once again by, well, Allen. Lovely setup though from Jason. Just about doing what was needed. Well, had a defender right in his path there, Allen. He's had a few opportunities here right up front, but they haven't been very easy for Allen Sebastio. Pass, but no interception there. That's just going to sail out. I don't think, well, Victor Luis is too pleased with his teammate Mohamed Rizki. Well, he just kept moving. Sidestepped it, and I think it was a bit too fast. I don't think Rizki was really expecting that. Hugo. Sure that he's got Jason in on it. That's wrong. It's long. So has to stretch it across to Levando. Just to remind you, of course, the semi-finals are played home and away, and well, PSM did have the opportunity to, well, host it in Indonesia, which they did, and they of course pulled off a win in that game. It's time for Công Hanoi to step it up, or to stand up to the occasion and perform. Well, in the good old days, you just say stand and deliver. It's a long the band's wrote a song about it. But all those passes just have been rather very shoddy for a PSM Makassar, and once again Rizki just missing out on it, even as Latter Fall, well, did make sure that he was getting it across to him. Now Levando decides to join in on the action as well. Has been very impressive. Well, the previous goal stopped by Allen was stopped by the Makassar captain, Euron Fernandez. If you think about it, that would have been a very, very important save. Just trying to figure out whether we've got a slight minor injury worry, but I don't think. Still certainly see the physio coming out for a bit. Jason getting it back to Victor. Here's Long. Long back to Jason. Stepping in on it. Nguyen. Going high. Oh, that was never going to find the target. But he'll take the shot all the same. And that's Van Tuck. I do believe that it's at this point of time where you really got to think for yourself. You're out there, you've got three defenders in front of you, you've got clear side of goal, just outside the box, and all you need is just a bit of accuracy. I don't think that Công and Hanoi have done themselves any favors so far, but having said that, it's very, very early in the game. I'm not going to say it's early days, because this is the second leg, just to be precise. Corner opportunity here. Decides to go in for goal. That's a good save. Oh, absolutely marvelous work being done here by Mohammad Reza. And it was Nguyen Quang Hai who was denied first, and the second time around as well. Victor Hugo Rosa can't believe it. Very well planned there. Touch and go from Nguyen Quang Hai. And then, well, a dual save. That's why Victor Rosa was just surprised. He would have been, well, bang on target there. So Reza's pulled off three very impressive saves so far. The scoreline could have read a bit different, but it hasn't as yet. I was talking a little bit about the Hangday Stadium earlier and how there's been you know, a bit of a worry as far as the safety reasons were concerned, and that's for the level of the upper level of Stand B. So that's been worked on, and you know, because of that, well, they had to close down that section. Otherwise, 22,500 spectators can sit here on a given day, but that's been, you know, brought down to about 15,000. And let's not forget the stadium is really, really, you know, iconic. Opened in 1934, expanded in 1958. And then from 2000 to 2003, it was called the Hanoi Stadium. But on April 24th, 2003, the historic name Hangday was restored. Now, there was a match from the 2018 AFF Championship that was played here, and two in the 2024 ASEAN Championship were held here. So that was really another very exciting moment. Full house, literally a packed stadium. Lots of color, lots of noise, and lots of cheer, and great contests. Home team are wearing red shirt with black shorts, as you can see. And those ivory shirts with black shorts are the visitors. That's PSM Makassar. Once again, Nguyen Quang Hai just testing the waters. It's the number 19. Can work as a main striker, can work as a supporting or a second striker. He's a fairly intelligent footballer. One of the reasons why he's got the captain's armband on. Offside call there. Victor Hugo Rosa once again drawing in Hugo Gomes. Vando. Decent half assist. Once again, Nguyen Quang Hai unable to penetrate that defense. And you want to think about why, you know, those long shots are not going to work. And if you just look at the way that the visitors have laid up a defensive wall, it's been fairly impressive. They can intercept most of the shots that are coming from the home team's attackers. They've been able to deflect most of them. And I think that that's going to be, well, something that the home team will have to think about. Decent enough back pass taken in nicely, but Hugo Gomes to the rescue. Just getting in a bit of a helping hand from Victor. Victor Hugo Rosa. That one's going to sail well past the side netting. Well, just a tendency to take in the shots from a distance. Just remind me just a tad bit about what some of the Middle Eastern clubs, those lads really specialize, or rather, they really love taking shots from a distance. It's the long shot always for them. And to be fair, 8 or 9 out of 10, they can actually hit the back of the net. It's quite impressive. We've got a player down, so we are going to check, of course. And looks to be a slight worry here for Trond and Trong. Back to the action here. Bit of a trickle this time around from the boot of Victor Hugo Rosa, I would have thought, but it's actually Alan Sebastio. Alan right up there in front, almost looked like he had, well, the energy drained out of him with that one. Not the most convincing effort from Alan. Look at that, 83% possession for the home team, only 17% for PSM, 8 attempts for the home team, none for PSM. You kind of want to sit back and think. PSM haven't really done too much in this game. They've defended. It's Norman. Vieta. Back from Victor Luis. Savieta scoops that over. Only finds Jason Kwong Win. That's Nguyen Quang Hai. Jason back again. The throne is well fit and back on the pitch, so no worries at all. Just had a slight worry as far as his, well, I think his right leg was concerned. Seemed to have been down there with maybe a bit of soreness, just a bit of a clash that would have resulted in that. Cheers, Tron. It's got Long inside. Long will shift it back to Kwong, who's got it to the keeper, Nguyen Flip. Flip sending it to Victor Gomes. Well, this time around, Victor Hugo Rosa looking a bit dangerous, but not dangerous enough to threaten that PSM back line. And it was Juran Fernandez again in the path. Well, the captain of PSM Makassar, right place at the right time. Most times, not to score but to defend. does essentially work as a centre-back, so that's the third corner for the home team. None as yet for PSM Makassar. Well, everything's actually falling in favour of the lads in the red and black. Now left to be seen whether they can make the most of it. The captain will take the corner. It's going to Công. A single bounce, and it's not going to find the target. And I do think once again, not the smartest effort there from Voi Huang Viet. That expression from, well, Hugo Gomes was just absolute gold. It's almost like he said, not again. Just looking back on a bit of form for these two teams, Công and Hanoi have won 3, drawn 1 and lost 1 in their last 5 games. Their only defeat was at the hands of PSM on the 2nd of April 2025 when they won. They fell in that first leg of the ASEAN Club Championship penultimate stage. Now they've been unbeaten at home otherwise in their last 5 with 3 draws and 2 wins, and in the ASEAN Club Championship they have won 5 and lost only 1 game this time to PSM. But if you just look at their home record in the ACC this time around, they are unbeaten in their last 3 games. So it's going to be a very interesting result here today. Currently they are 6th on the V-League 1 table, which is well, the top division of club football in Vietnam. Now let's look at the other side of the half line. PSM have won 2, drawn 2 and lost 1 in their last 5 encounters. A 1-0 defeat at the hands of Bali United on the 25th of April was their last result, so it wasn't really a morale boosting one. They have been unbeaten on the road with 4 games drawn and 1 victory. Now in the ASEAN Club Championship they have lost only 1. They've drawn 1 and have won 4 games this time around. So they fell 1-0 to Terengganu on the 22nd of Jan, and that was the only game that they lost in the ASEAN Club Championship. Currently PSM Makassar are 8th in the Liga 1 table. That is Indonesia's top division as far as club football is concerned. Pulled away very quickly by Công. Well, before the game, we did have a couple of reports. Bernardo Tavares was confident that his team would get past Khan FC. By that I mean CAHN, which is Công and Hanoi. He said his team was fully confident of going for the win. He did mention respectfully that it wasn't going to be easy playing the Vietnamese club on home turf. And just as we speak, we've got Victor Luis who's down. So a quick check there from the physio. I do believe the lad right behind him was Hugo Gomes. Just to the back of the ankle of the right leg. That will definitely hurt, there's no doubt about it. Well, that place does sting a lot. Dead ball here as we restart the action. And to do the honors, it was Voi Huang Viet. Yes, Hugo Gomes. Allen. Allen still with it, but not for too long. That's got to be the funniest bit of defense that I've seen in a while. It was Nguyen Quang Hai who was once again denied. was lateral fall. That's the strangest bit of defense I've ever seen. Straight off his back. Well, I do hope the cameraman would have got that. There's definitely going to be one moment, one of the lighter moments in this game. An ineffective one. He did defend it, so let's not take it away from him. 33 minutes in, and it's still goalless here at the Hang Day Stadium in Vietnam. Once again, this is a gentle reminder that we are coming at you live from the stadium, and let's not forget that the joy beyond everything else is the fact that we've got a great crowd in attendance. This is the ASEAN Club Championship 2024-25. We will find out today which team does make it through to the finale from these two. Meanwhile, there's also going to be the finals coming up very soon. We've also got a semi-final being played out in Thailand on the 7th of May. One of the two Thailand teams will also make it through to the final stage of this contest. Well, you can see the rain coming down there. It's dropping some water very clearly. Opportunity up for PSM. It's been a long time coming. Well, Uran was right behind it. On the outside, Mohamed Rizki. Rizki just stalling it, but that will go to Kongan Hanoi, and it was Daisuke Sakai actually. He was up there instead of Rizki. Haven't seen too much of Sakai today. You know, up front. It's one of those lads who can keep pecking away at the opposition's defense, but well, it's just stayed away from it. So just about 10 minutes shy of hitting the 45 here at the Hang Day Stadium. This, of course, is that return leg of the semi-final between these two, well, popular ASEAN clubs. Long. Just looking for a helping hand. But that was pulled away by PSM defense. Victor Luis to the rescue. Very smart way to get that ball away from Van Van Dup. Now you can see the rain thanks to those camera lenses. Every time, well, it zooms in a little bit more, you are going to get a view of the rain behind. I do believe there's definitely got to be, well, at least a goal in this half. Because if either of these teams decide to leave it for that second half, that could be a very, very dicey point. Makassar don't have too much to worry because they've got a goal, but it's just a single goal. It's as slender, you know, as slender can get in terms of a lead. To Long. Once again, we'll go to the right, but this time it's Van Van Duck who's around there. Hugo Gomes. Pass to that left area. Good interception there by Makassar, chasing it down now. There's Victor Luis. Hugo Gomes finds Long, sending it back to his teammate. He's thrown the throng. Has manned the left defensive area of the team for Công Hanoi. Here's Yuran. Attempts with 5 attempts on target for the Vietnamese club. He's pulled away in time. Good defense being put up by the lads in red and black. What's very interesting, of course, about the Công Hanoi Football Club manager, Alexander Polking, and this is really, really odd because he's actually called Mano by family and friends, and he was a former winger for Apoel, Olympiakos Nicosia, Armenia, Bielefeld, and a few other clubs. He has managed Thailand as an assistant coach, Thailand under 23, Army United, Suphanburi, Bangkok United, Ho Chi Minh City, and his big moment came when in 2021 he was appointed as the Thailand national team coach, and that was till 2023. From 24 he has been with Công Hanoi FC. It's a bit of a departure from the his counterpart, Fernando Jose Bernardo Tavares, who's commonly known as Bernardo Tavares. He's a Portuguese defensive midfielder, played for Proença Anova till he retired, and that was when he was just 23. He holds the UEFA Pro license, regarded as the highest football qualification in Europe. Received his license in June 2013 from the Portuguese Football Federation. Now the chance here to graft out an assist, but that's not going to be good enough as the PSM defense holds their own. So, interestingly, Bernardo Tavares, of course, has managed Benfica Youth. And the reason I know that club so well is because, well, that's another loose-ended shot. Allen just not finding his shooting boots here today. He's been on target once, probably once or twice maybe at the max, but not the best effort from him here. I just had a nod there from coach Alexander Polking. So Bernardo Tavares has coached, as I said earlier, Benfica Youth. He was a scout for Porto, and then of course he coached Belenenses, Terence, Al Nada, New Radiant, and Benfica de Macau, as well as Churchill Brothers in India. Churchill Brothers, of course, is a famous Goan club in Goa, one of the states of India, which is very Portuguese influenced. And, well, most of the lads in that region are really football crazy. They love it. A lot of the younger generation have names after big footballers like Ronaldinho and Ronaldo. Oh, and they love Portugal and Brazil. When Portugal and Brazil play each other, they don't know who to support. It just puts down to that. That's strange when you think about it. A couple of Brazilian players in here for the clubs. Well, not the smartest move there, as Victor Hugo was knocked over. Inching towards that half-time mark. There's still no major change in the scoreline. It's still even Stevens as we started off the day here. Free kick opportunity. Can PSM Makassar do something with this? Nerman getting high, but rising above him was Hugo Gomes. And the possession just stolen by PSM Makassar. Down the left flank goes Victor Luis. Yuran. Lathir just with a little bit of give and go there. That's another feeble attempt. He's not going to earn too many brownie points, but I do believe that Daisuke Sakai, well, did want to push that forward. And as long as there's a corner in waiting, I think he's just going to be a happy camper. Not too much that can be crafted out of that, with the Hanoi club holding their own. That almost looked like it was a breakaway there for Jason Kwong. Hugo Gomes has Melman on his tail, but not for too long. Manto finding Jason down that left flank. He'll contain it within the line of play. Decides to get it back to Van Wan Duck. Here's Allen. He's got Uren on his tail. Uren will pull it away. Was just looking back at Daisuke Sakai, and you know, well, I've got to say, I've seen him in action since 2014, and for the longest period of time, 6 or 7 years, he was with Oita Trinita in Japan. Iran is not too happy. And then he played for so many clubs in between. You know, the J-League under 22, not really a club, but he played for Tabriz, Albirex Niigata, Tespa Gunma, Gainare Totori, and then moved to Samut Prakan City. Before you knew it, he was with Customs United 2022 to 23. And then moved to India, where he was playing in the I-League for the Kerala Blasters, you know, for 2 years. And finally with PSM Makassar from 2024. Just 1 minute of added time. We've had absolutely no injuries, no real problems here. I think both the teams have really honored fair play in the best sense of the word, the words. And I think just a minute of added time, because as we've crossed the 45, could we see a last minute, well, thriller here from one of the teams? Left to be seen. If this game ends in a draw, Makassar are going to the finals. If this game ends with, well, Kongan Hanoi winning it 2-1, I do believe Kongan will go to the finals. It's the proof of the pudding is in the goal scored. That's what it is. Unable to pull it away for too long, Victor Hugo. And that's pretty much the end of the first 45 as referee Kim Dae-yong brings it to a close. It's been a very, very strange affair. A game that was actually dominated in possession and attack by Kongan Hanoi FC, the home team, but still absolutely no change in the scoreline. And I do believe PSM Makassar was just doing a really good job, you know, of defending that single goal advantage that they've got. Left to be seen how the second well, half pans out, but at halftime it is Kongan Hanoi FC 0, PSM Makassar 0, with the Indonesian club still 1-0 ahead on aggregate when you take both the matches into account. Stay with us, because we're going to be back with second half action in just a little bit, and I believe it will get more exciting than it currently is.
Xin các quý vị khán giả hãy đừng đi đâu cả, bởi vì ngay sau đây chúng ta sẽ cùng đến với những chương trình của Sopisec.
Just wanted to run you by those statistics before I do, of course, get myself a cup of joe. Ball possession there will tell you pretty much what it's all about. 75% there for, you know, Kongan Hanoi. So stay with us, don't go anywhere. The action continues right here at the Hackney Stadium. Join you in just a little bit.
Lights on, free shift. AirAsia Move. It's moving made affordable, moving made seamless, moving made simple. Because we know travel is never a straight road. And out there, everyone could use a friend. So don't seek it, dream it, live it. Because wherever you go, however you move, with your feet, all the way. AirAsia Move. Go all the way.
Việt Nam là nhà tài trợ chính của các đội tuyển bóng đá quốc gia Việt Nam, luôn đồng hành cùng sự phát triển của bóng đá nước nhà. Dù vẻ vang hay gian khó, vẫn kiên tâm. Việt Nam quyết tiến khởi sắc vinh quang.
Tiết Công, check Shopee link. Shopee để vô gì?
Mua trên Shopee để vô địch cho Shopee để có Shopee để vô địch phải mua trên Shopee. Mua trên Shopee để vô địch cho Shopee để có Shopee. Mua Shopee để vô địch.
Shopee để vô gì? Like on free ship.
Mọi người ơi, mọi người đã sẵn sàng để lắc xu chưa ạ? Và đây là cơ hội vàng để các bạn giành được rất nhiều Shopee Zoom cũng như là những phần thưởng hấp dẫn đến từ nhà tài trợ ASEAN. Và các bạn thân mến, là nếu như các bạn chưa có app Shopee, hãy nhanh tay tải app Shopee tại Apple Store và Google Play. Các bạn thân mến, là Shopee Zoom dùng để giảm giá khi mua hàng trên Shopee, vậy nên là hãy nhanh tay tải app Shopee. Cũng như là nếu như các bạn đã có app Shopee rồi thì hãy update phiên bản mới nhất của Shopee để chúng ta sẽ cùng nhau lắc xu nha mọi người ơi. Ok, và cách chơi của lắc siêu xu rất là đơn giản. Các bạn chỉ cần cầm chắc cái điện thoại trong tay và lắc xu thật mạnh thì các bạn sẽ có những quà nhé. Và đặc biệt hơn là chúng tôi có rất nhiều camera check cam đang bao quát toàn bộ sân vận động của chúng ta ngày hôm nay để tìm ra những người bạn khán giả may mắn. 2 bạn khán giả may mắn được ban tổ chức ghi lại khoảnh khắc các bạn đang lắc siêu xu nhiệt tình thì các bạn sẽ có cơ hội nhận được những món quà, những giá trị những sản phẩm đến từ ASEAN trị giá hơn 3 triệu đồng. Vậy nên là hãy nhanh tay tải app Shopee cũng như là update phiên bản mới nhất của Shopee và hãy chuẩn bị cho mình những cú lắc xu thật là mạnh, những điệu nhảy thật là sung các bạn nhé. Và giờ thì chúng ta sẽ cùng nhau xem một cái clip hướng dẫn cách lắc siêu xu nha. Chơi game vui, chìa khò 30 triệu xu cực đã thì có ở Shopee Cup lắc siêu xu ngày 2 tháng 4 và 30 tháng 4. Vào ngay app Shopee, bấm vào icon giải thưởng Shopee, chọn game lắc siêu xu và 3, 2, 1 lắc xu ngay. Hãy lắc xu thật nhanh để được chia kho xu lên đến 30 triệu xu. Còn chần chờ gì nữa? App Shopee và tham gia ngay. Ok, mọi người đã biết là cách lắc xu rồi đúng không ạ? Và bây giờ thì mình sẽ hướng dẫn lại mọi người thật nhanh cách lắc xu nhé. Các bạn thân mến, là hãy mở app Shopee và các bạn hãy tìm cho mình cái biểu tượng lắc siêu xu ở đây. Các bạn kéo đến phần là săn ngay 100.000 Shopee xu. Các bạn nhấn vào. Ok, chúng ta kéo xuống. Ở đây hơi đông người nên chắc là sẽ nặng hơi lót. Cứ chậm một xíu với mọi người hãy nhanh tay nha. Rồi kéo xuống, các bạn kéo xuống giúp mình. Ở đây chúng ta có phần là lắc siêu xu, các bạn nhớ rút chơi ngay. Chơi đi ạ. Ok. Rồi. Mạng hơi chậm một xíu mọi người thông cảm nhé. Có thật đông người quá. Nhưng mà không sao, là lắc siêu xu diễn ra ngay bây giờ thôi. Mọi người vẫn còn thời gian để tải app cũng như là update phiên bản mới nhất nha. Wow, nó vẫn đang quay mọi người ạ. Khi mọi người nhấn vào cái biểu tượng đó thì nó sẽ hiện ra một cái trang để các bạn có thể nhấn vào chữ bắt đầu. Các bạn nhớ rằng là khi nào mà mình hô bắt đầu thì các bạn hãy cùng bắt đầu giúp mình nhé. Bởi vì chúng ta cần phải bắt đầu cùng với nhau thì camera mới có thể bắt được những khoảnh khắc tuyệt vời của bạn được. Đừng quên với mình là hãy tải cái app Shopee. Nếu như như các bạn là người may mắn được trúng được những giải thưởng đến từ ASEAN thì các bạn không cần phải đi đâu hết, ngồi yên tại chỗ vì ban tổ chức sẽ gửi đến cho các bạn những phần quà của ASEAN các bạn nhá. Rồi cái phần này màn hình đã hiện rồi, bây giờ các bạn chỉ cần nút chơi ngay thôi. Ok là rất rồi. Mà thân mến là muốn nhận được quà từ ASEAN thì phải được check em mắt cho các bạn nhé, mà nhớ cầm điện thoại và lắc xu nhé. Rồi mọi người đã sẵn sàng để lắc xu chưa? Mọi người đã có điện thoại trên tay để lắc xu chưa? Có vẻ là mạng đang đã có điện thoại để lắc xu chưa? Mở app lên nào. Tôi có lên TV à? Tôi có app chưa? Rồi các bạn thân mến là bây giờ lại đã hiện ra cái màn hình rồi, mọi người đã sẵn sàng để bấm bắt đầu chưa? Mình sẽ đếm, cùng đếm với nhau, chúng ta sẽ cùng đếm với nhau nha, mọi người sẵn sàng chưa? Rồi Shopee, mở app Shopee lên nào, mọi người đã sẵn sàng chưa? Rồi bộ phận kỹ thuật ơi, chúng ta sẽ cùng countdown với nhau là 10, 9, các bạn thân mến là hãy cùng nhau. Chúng ta sẽ tìm ra những người khán giả may mắn lắc xu. Bây giờ lắc xu thôi, mình bắt đầu lắc xu đây nào mọi người, lắc đi nào để cùng nhau nhận được những phần quà may mắn là những túi giải thưởng của ASEAN các bạn nhé, trị giá hơn 3 triệu đồng. Rồi lắc đi nào, lắc đi nào, lắc mạnh lên nào mọi người ơi. Đây chúng ta tìm được khán giả đầu tiên lắc xu của chúng ta. Khán giả đầu tiên đã nhận được một giải thưởng của Shopee trị giá của ASEAN trị giá 3 triệu đồng. Tiếp đi nào. Một khán giả may mắn tiếp theo. Một khán giả may mắn tiếp theo. Một khán giả may mắn tiếp theo. Rồi ok, hãy show cái màn hình này. Rồi đúng không? Còn 3 giây lắc nốt đi nào. Kết quả, nhớ kết quả nào mọi người. Ok, nhưng mà em cũng là khán giả may mắn đã lắc xu rất nhiệt tình và em sẽ nhận được một phần thưởng là một phần quà từ ASEAN trị giá hơn 3 triệu đồng nhé. Rồi ok, và các bạn không cần phải đi đâu hết và ban tổ chức sẽ tận tay trao những giải thưởng cho các bạn nhé. Rồi, ok, đợi một chút xíu nha, đợi một chút đứng đây nha. Cảm ơn tất cả mọi người và chúc mừng các bạn đã nhận được những phần quà đến từ Shopee cũng như là ASEAN và các bạn không phải đi đâu hết. Và trước khi chúng ta chuẩn bị đến những phần tiếp theo thì có một số thông tin cần được bật mí ngay bây giờ. Các bạn thân mến là từ ngày 26 tháng 4 đến ngày 7 tháng 5 Shopee sẽ mang tới 5 tháng 5 siêu sale hàng hiệu cùng hàng loạt ưu đãi hấp dẫn, khủng giảm đến 50% từ các thương hiệu hot. SPay Letter mua trước trả sau, mua trước ngay thanh toán sau dễ dàng với trả góp 0%. Phí ship không đồng, thả ga chốt đơn với hàng ngàn sản phẩm từ hàng nặng đến hàng cồng kềnh và free ship lên đến 500.000 đồng các bạn ạ. Còn chờ gì nữa mà hãy tải app Shopee và đừng quên đặt lịch sale ngày 5 tháng 5 nhé. Và trước khi chúng ta đến với hiệp 2 của chương trình, hãy cùng nhau thưởng thức một ca khúc Lời Trái Tim Việt Nam được thể hiện bởi nam ca sĩ Hoàng Bách. Hãy cùng hướng về sân cỏ nào.
Sớm lại thức dậy được nhìn ngắm quê hương thanh bình, thấy nụ cười trên môi bé thơ, cả một bầu trời ước mơ. Từng ngày dạy cho ta tình yêu thương thiết tha, từ trái tim xin dâng lời ca về tổ quốc tôi Việt Nam. Đã nâng tôi đứng dậy cho sức sống, cho tôi cuộc đời. 4.000 năm tổ quốc ơi, nước mắt nụ cười đất mẹ ơi, bình minh lại đến cho tôi tự hào hát lên. Lời tôi hát vượt bão giông, vượt biển khơi, vượt đôi cánh và phút bay, sánh vai cùng thế giới. biển khơi vươn đôi cánh và vỗ bay sánh vai cùng thế giới cùng tôi hát ta mãi Việt Nam ơi đau dấu yêu tổ quốc tôi hát ta mãi về trái tim tôi Việt Nam cho tôi hát vang mãi lời trái tim tôi
Welcome back to second half action, and it's time for us to restart where we stopped off with both the teams not having scored. So it's basically Kongan Hanoi FC a 0 and PSM Makassar 0 as we get into the second period of play. Remember, the Indonesian clubs still hold an advantage on aggregate of a single goal. So it's left to be seen what they can come up with. Very interesting times for us. Lots of color, and that's of course with those transparent blue ponchos against you know, the home team's colors of red. Very interesting background, and here we go into the second period as referee Kim Dae-yong of Korea, well, kicks off the action, whistles off the action. Let me get that right. So I do believe well, it was really humid earlier, and the reason for that humidity being so high was, well, it was going to break rain at some point of time, and you know, the clouds have just let that through. So it's been raining fairly heavy. It's as you can see, everybody's got their ponchos out in the crowd. Well, this was an affair that was totally dominated that first half, except for the goal score, except for, you know, that scoreline actually belonged to, well, Kongan Hanoi FC, and that's well, another great save produced there by Mohamed Reza. Alan denied once again, and this time he was bang on target. We are going to get a look at that once again. Broken from the outside, sweet enough assist, lovely right footer, but again alert to the danger. Reza has been on red alert right through this whole game so far. It's been a very interesting performance from him, really thrown himself into every save. Good reflexes. Well, I do believe that if PSM Makassar will just sit back and defend and don't really score in this one, and they still get through, it's going to be an entirely different story when they go up against the Thai clubs, because those lads like to attack, and you cannot spend your time, well, really defending. You've got to keep that momentum of attack right through. And well, having said that, I'm nobody to decide that. It's really, you know, Coach Bernardo Tavares is well called. There could be an opportunity here. Allen once again, just a step too many for him, just allowing the defense to close in from the opposition. Just wondering what he was thinking. Was there a bit of doubt in there? There was a sweet enough assist from Long, and then of course Nguyen Quang Hai just finding his striker. He's almost undecided whether he was going to go with the left or the right foot. He was just trying to get himself into a comfortable position to strike. And that's found its way through. Somebody had to get it in, and Hugo Gomes says, I'll take it from you. And Kongan Hanoi have now leveled the score with that single goal. Not in this game, but on aggregate, it is 1-1. But Kongan Hanoi lead 1-0 in the second leg. Something had got to give. He was really unmarked for most part. And I think there was definitely a ploy there. So plan put into place by Alexander Polking. Well, to be fair, he was marked, but just put his outstretched leg. Well, that's smartly done. Now, he's a big lad. Holding him back wasn't easy, and he was marked. Let me reconfirm that. Did have obstruction there, but that wasn't good enough. Trying to figure out whether it was Cheryl Lassie who was in front of him. And Hugo Gomes knows he's done well. There's a bit of joy for manager Paul King as well. So it's 1-0 here in the second leg of the semi-final. It will be interesting to see, well, how things will progress. Vietnam club, well, just getting a bit of a boost there. That's a second attack coming on, and this time it is Levando who definitely wants to strike all his own. Remember, he is one of the leading scorers along with Leo Arthur. Well, he scored 4 goals for the club in the ASEAN Club Championship so far. So it's going to be interesting to see if he does, of course, provide that winning goal. Having said that, now PSM Makassar have got a task on hand. And that's exactly what I was saying earlier. You can defend all you want, but at the end of the day, if you don't keep that attack coming at the opposition, they are going to get the advantage. There's always going to be, if the score just remains the same and, you know, both teams have won a game each, there'll always be a decider. There's always going to be added time. There's always going to be the penalties. No matter what happens, you know, this game, of course, a winner will be decided, and that winner will go to the finale. But what a joy here. So an aggregate, as you can see, right up there with that scoreboard, it's 1-1. Quite an interesting one here for Mohamed Rizki and his well, teammates. They will have to work really hard. They've got to find the back of the net as soon as possible. Here's Nguyen Flip. But it all boils down to really your desire to win. There's nothing greater than that. Another opportunity here, but this time it is the Makassar defense that comes to the rescue. Jason Kwong just finding Tron Din Trong. Got across to Levanto. Won't be able to hold on to it for too long. Two fouls conceded by PSM and 3 by Kongan Hanoi. Well, we did see this earlier. Uran Fernandez did have a slight problem in, that first period of play, and I think even in the second period, well, just gesturing to the referee, well, he does have a bit of a problem with that right side. I think he did take a knock or two. And it's on that right side next to that, well, the rib area towards the back. The referee, of course, will say it's all good, lad, but let's have it treated on the side. Let's get on with the game. It's always a bit of joy when it comes to, the home team scoring, but since then, of course, just a bit of a lull there for the visitors. They will have to really step it up now. These clubs have never met before that first leg of the semi-final, so this is only their second encounter ever, and that, of course, means both teams don't really know each other that well now. But Bernardo Tavares was very confident before they got to the Hangday Stadium that they were somehow going to win this at all costs. Victor Hugo was trying to pull that away. Well, one thing I've totally forgot to mention is that the 2024-25 ASEAN Club Championship, also known as the 2024-25 Shopee Cup. It is the third edition of the ASEAN Club Championship, and an international football competition between domestic champion club sides affiliated with the ASEAN Football Federation, or the AFF. Now, the current tournament was launched on 4th April 2024, and games projected to be played from 17 July 24 to 21st May 2025. That's when the finale will happen. So the clubs from all 12 member football associations of the AFF have taken part, were eligible, but Australia and Timor-Leste decided not to enter. The format remains the same as the AFC Cup that we all know. Each national football association in Southeast Asia sends their championship club, representing the domestic league winners. Then, of course, the participating teams were split into groups of several teams, with each team playing the other in a round-robin format. We've gone through all those stages, and we're down to, of course, finally the semi-finals. The group stage, there was a prize money of 100,000 USD tagged to it. Every match played was about 10,000 USD. Semi-finals, I don't know what the amount is, but the champions will earn 500,000, while the runners-up, that's still to be decided. Well, the total prize money, if I'm not mistaken, is about $3 million. I could be wrong, but it is a prestigious tournament. It is a very important tournament for the clubs, and especially for the fans. And this is where clubs, of course, really get, well, it's the AFC Champions League, it's the AFC Cup, it's the the ASEAN Club Championship. This is really the holy grail of where clubs get to perform against clubs from different leagues, and that only helps in the development of players. It gets your skills sharpened and honed in, and there's nothing greater than this. So I'm always excited with a contest like this. Now here goes the home team once again, a chance here to maybe make the difference, get that second goal through. That's a decent enough pass, And what a way to let that go for Jason Kwong. Oh, when a player does clutch his head in his hands, in the palm of his hands, it pretty much tells a story, doesn't it? Lovely assist, very smartly done. Picked out his man really well here. Looked like it was long from that end. Just trying to see if that flag was going to go up, but Jason Kwong was pretty much in the legal zone. So just closing in on that hour mark. It's a little over a minute left. Just finds the gap there, and that's cool. Wicked up defensive work being done there. Levando is trying to provide an opportunity. He's created quite a few, and this time it was Alan who got it started. Well played there by the PSM Makassar defense. Opportunity here for Hanoi. Jason trying to restore it. Oh, that just found its way through. Open season there, and he's finally been able to get one from the left footer. Wai Huang Vieton has scored the second goal, and it's now 2-1 on aggregate. Well, if there is one thing to do, and I'm just trying to find out if there was Levando. It looks like it was Levando. Wasn't getting a complete picture of that number. I was just talking about Levando and whether he would be able to score the winning goal. Let's get a view of it again, just to confirm the score for you, because it definitely was well there. Wai Huang Viet An finding his way through. If you just take a closer look at that, and PSM Makassar have nobody else to blame but themselves. There it is, the ball just lands at his foot. Just takes that left footer. What a feeble attempt to have stopped the ball there from PSM Makassar. Very loose from Mohamed Dafa Salman. Just stuck a foot out. It wasn't going to stop anything. It's 2-0 here in the second leg and 2-1 on aggregate. And from being a goal behind, Kongan Hanoi now have a foot in the finale. PSM Makassar will have to make the difference here. Very well done there by Wai Huang Vietan. Well, if there's one thing that a referee, Kim De-yong, will not require tonight, is a shower. It's just been pouring right through. And his expression too. The expression of these players is priceless. You always got to thank a cameraman for it. I've always said this, you know, referees sometimes remain the unsung heroes, but it really is the cameraman and the production crew that are the other unsung heroes of a game. So much done between them, and just trying to figure out whether there was an appeal. And that's pretty much stayed. That's pretty much stayed, and Alexandre Polking is a happy camper here.
Câu lạc bộ PSM Makassar có sự thay đổi cầu thủ.
So there was an appeal from PSM Makassar. Just trying to figure out what the appeal was for. 62 minutes in, and the tide has turned. And what a way it's turned. Wasn't really expecting that.
Cầu thủ số 81
Vietnam.
vào sân.
Vietnamese club firmly in the lead here. Having said that, there's still a good bit of time left. So both those goals coming in the second period. 48 minutes from Hugo Gomes and 61 minutes from Boy Huang Viet An. We've got a change as Risky and Detan will come off and Ricky and Abdul Rahman come in.
Câu lạc bộ Công an Hà Nội có sự thay đổi cầu
Ricky
thủ.
Pratama, the number 15, has come in. We've also got a
Cầu
change
thủ
here
số 20
as Nguyen Van Duck will come in.
Cầu thủ số 28 Nguyễn Văn Đức vào sân.
Nguyen Van Duck replaces Phan Van Duck. This is where Bernardo Tavares, the coach of PSM Makassar, does understand it's not going to be easy now. Keep in mind the fact that PSM, well, did show Dongan Tanhua the exit door in the group phase. And Dong Tanhua was actually a very, very strong team. PSM won that game 3-0. And they were very confident coming to, Hanoi. But as I said earlier, in the last 3 games in the ACC at home, Kongan Hanoi have been undefeated. They've been unbeaten, so that pretty much tells us a story. And they were going to be strong here regardless. Tavares had made a very strong statement to say our preparation is much better. We are recovering to fight much better, and we are recovering to fight Khan, which is Kongan Hanoi. We know they're a very good team, but to get good results tomorrow, we need to focus from the first minute. Well, if you ask me, right from the start, it has been, Vietnamese club that have really ruled. 74% possession, 21 attempts on goal, 7 attempts on target. Compare that to 26% possession for the visitors and just 1 attempt on goal. Well, this has been a game where it looks like, the home team have done all the work, and the visitors have literally been spectators through it all. And I think that's the end result will just tell you that. And I don't think that PSM Makassar have done themselves any favors whatsoever here today. So 66 minutes in, and Kongan Hanoi FC lead 2-0. Jason Kwong. Referee's definitely going to grant that to PSM Makassar. Hugo Gomes there with not the kindest move. Gomes, of course, is Brazilian. He was born in Campo Grande, Brazil. 30 years old, 6 foot 2 inches. Primarily works as a centre back. He's a fairly big lad, plays for Hanoi Police, which is the current club. He's also played for Sao Paulo, Mallorca B, Granada B, Famalicão, Varzim, Estoril, Rio Ave. Played for Suwon FC in the K-League, that's Korea Republic 2023, and for Muay Thai, which is in Qatar. Joined Kongan Hanoi in 2024. He was the one that scored the first goal in today's game. This time, good defensive work being put up there, but you do know that this lad can be a bit of a handful. Rahman, Abdul Rahman, of course, getting on to, well, the pitch can make a difference here. Fresh pair of feet will always work in favor of the club. Opportunity for PSM Makassar, and that's not going to well produce anything. Is for certain. Once again, if you look at the accuracy factor, home team 87%, visitor 62%, 5 corners for the home team, 2 for the visitors, and 3 fouls conceded on both sides off the half line. But that scoreline tells us a story. So there's just about 20 minutes left, plus maybe a bit of added time thrown in for the few stoppages we've had so far. As I said, no major incidents on the pitch, but it is the home team that lead 2 goals to 0. That's a fantastic save. Absolutely delightful save coming in here from Nguyen Flip as he denies Abdul Rahman. And I think very, very good effort. Finally, PSM Makassar will have got a proper attempt of their own, and you would believe probably Abdul Rahman should have just come on a bit earlier. Well, he would have been bang on target there. Got an opportunity for PSM. Nguyen Flip punches that away. Leon is going to come in. And Salman replaced by Mufli.
Câu lạc bộ PSM Makassar có sự thay đổi cầu
Leon
thủ.
replaces
Cầu thủ số 68
Allen.
Muhammad Dafar Salman rời sân. Cầu thủ số 71 Muhammad Mufi Hidayat vào sân. Câu lạc bộ Công an Hà Nội có sự thay đổi cầu thủ. Cầu thủ số 72
You wonder whether that's going to make a lot of a difference. Alan Graffite, he's had his time. Did have a few good attempts from him as well. And Leon coming in for him. Going with the spectrum. To have Mufli Abdai, who stepped in for PSM Makassar. Through an opportunity here for, well, Kongan Hanoi. One thing that I think Tavares' men will have to do is got to get a few more attempts in, like they did from Abdul Rahman some time back. And that's going to be another miss, and this time around I do believe they are living life just a bit dangerously. PSM Makassar, and it's Nguyen Van Duk who decides to come to the party just once. Well, a chance all his own, and there you go, the PSM defense not really looking at their brightest. And Mohammad Reza, well, he's done a good job right through that first period, but the second period, I don't believe that his men have done him or have been too fair to him. Few things I think that PSM Makassar will have to decide is, you know, are they really going to take it through? Now, opportunities like this don't come by. 2024-25, you know, the Shopee Cup is so important for a reason. The ASEAN Club Championship, it's been a return. Remember, you know, if you look back, the ASEAN Club Championship was held as a biannual tournament. In 2003 and 2005, the first edition was called the LG Cup ASEAN Club Football Championship. The tournament did not gain traction due to lack of sponsors, and there was too many other, you know, events happening on the Asian Football Confederation's calendar. There were plans to revive it in 2012, and it was supposed to make a comeback in 2019. But due to the pandemic, well, the return plans were shelved.
It's 40,879. Thank you for attending.
It was well revived in April 2024, and I think that that's been, well, very heartwarming. So it's very eventful. It's a really, this contest does have a lot of depth. And there's Iran again. Victor Hugo looked like he was well, guilty of it. Iran Fernandez not happy at all. And he, as I said earlier, he was a bit troubled with that injury in the first period. He's had it through the second period as well. Well, time is running out, and PSM Makassar have a task on hand. And Hugo Gomes would not be happier.
Trận đấu ngày hôm nay, chúng ta có 14.879 khán giả đang có mặt tại sân theo dõi. Cảm ơn toàn thể quý vị.
lad there. He's just taken a bit of a knock. Nguyen Van Duk was just getting a foot there from Victor Luis. Well, for most part of this play, of course, as I said, it has been, most part of this contest between these clubs, it has been fair. Maybe something in here still for Công Hanoi, because they aren't giving up that hunger to Anger. Well, guilty there. As charged is Akbar Tanjung, sticking the foot out for Victor Hugo Rosa. He does admit it, so free kick opportunity. Rosa's got a bit of a cramp. About to get that tended to. Well, it's not going to be an enjoyable flight back home for PSM Makassar if they do not make the most of the next 10 minutes, and that's all that they have. Because as of now, and I can say this in writing, did say the difference in this game had to be 2 goals in this very game, and it certainly is so far. 70% possession now, 30% is gone a bit higher for PSM, 70% for the home team, 22 attempts on goal, and for the home team, only 2 for the visitors. That's not saying much. That's not saying much at all. Possession stolen once again, but not for too long. Yes, Nguyen Van Duk. Long. Iran will just able to clear the danger for the time being. Sent forward by Victor Luis. So interesting times here as far as we are concerned, because I do believe that PSM Makassar may just have a plan. They do have a bit of a helping hand, well, with Mufli Hidayat also joining Abdul Rahman. Well, he certainly did have, well, a celebration for defending that, Hugo Gomes. It's been an interesting affair, and I do believe, I think the home crowd will have enjoyed this more than anyone else. And Abdul Rahman, of course, saying there's definitely a handball. There's an appeal there from PSM Makassar. And was that off, well, Hugo Gomes' left arm? That's what the appeal was about. It didn't look like it. It looked like it came off his hip, but I could be wrong. The video assistant referees, of course, to check in on that. Looks like it was his hip, but we've got a change coming on here. As Arham will come in for Latir, and Carol Leck will come in for Akbar.
Cầu thủ số 19 La Chi Phương rời sân. Cầu thủ số 28
So that appeal did not work in favor of well, PSM Makassar. Defense was clean as far as Hugo Gomes is concerned. There's Victor Hugo, bit of give and go there, receiving it back from Nguyen Van Duk. Well, for all things said and done, you know, Kongan Hanoi have been the better team. You know, I spoke so much and I really forgot to give you just a tad bit on the teams that were involved here today. Well, Kongan Hanoi, they're literally known as, basically it translates to the Hanoi Police Football Club, or simply CAHN, or CON for short. And, you know, they compete in the VIE League 1, which is the highest division of club football in Vietnam. Earlier they were known as Công An Nan Than. They changed their name after being promoted to VIE League 1, and from the 2023 season. Now 2022, they were VIE League 2 champions. 2023 VIE League 1 champions, and they have many nicknames, but they're really known as the Wall, or in other words in Vietnamese, Burk Trong. Burk Trong is what they are called, the Wall. If you look back at the other team, and that's one team that I forgot to mention as well, and that's PSM Makassar, as far as their history is concerned, the full name is Persatuan Sepak Bola Makassar. They're based in Makassar, which is in South Sulawesi. They compete in the Liga 1, which is the top division of, or the top flight of football, club football in Indonesia. They've got a huge history. Were founded in 1915 as Makassar Wet Balbon, and they're one of the oldest active national clubs in Indonesia, considered one of the most successful as well. In 2001, they became the second Indonesian club to reach the quarterfinals of an Asian level tournament, which was the Asian Club Championship. And they won 2 Liga 1 titles and 1 Piala Indonesia in their history. They've got a couple of nicknames as well. They're called Juku Eja, or which is Red Fish, but they are more popularly known as Ayam Jantan Dari Timur, which is the Roosters of the East. 2022-23 Liga 1 champions. They're a great team. They do have a very big fan following as well. Great, excellent supporters, very loyal supporters. But I think it's really going to boil down to this, and by that I mean, well, what exactly are they going to come up with in terms of well, the last 4 minutes. Stepping out of his zone here was Mohamed Reza. And I do believe it's going to be very important for him to make it count. 8 corners in all, 5 for the home team and 3 for the visitors. We've also got, well, Xuan Thin, who's going to come in. And he will replace, well, Vitao, or the lad we know as Victor Hugo. Vitao, of course, is Victor in Brazil. So, Boy Xuan Thin makes his entry.
Câu lạc bộ Công an Hà Nội có sự thay đổi cầu thủ. Cầu thủ số 8 Victor Hugo rời sân. Cầu thủ số 15 Bùi Xuân Thịnh vào sân.
Bùi Xuân Thịnh, well, does know that you know, every bit of time spent can be, well, worth its weight in gold on the pitch. So just a little bit, well, over 2.5 minutes left. As I said, we will have a bit of added time, but I still don't see any changes here from PSM Makassar. It is the home team who are calling the shots, who are providing all the attack. And I do believe that that's going to be a bit of a concern going ahead. And that's the first caution to be handed out. Bit of a surprise there. It's Victor Luis. He's had about 3 or 4 incidents, and I think, you know, the referee will finally calling that. So Victor Luis picks up the first yellow card here. And that was for the new lad who's in, Boy Xuan Thin. Good call by the referee.
Thẻ vàng dành cho cầu thủ số 22 của PSM Makassar, Victor Luis.
So Victor Lewis also gets his name well announced there. So it's not always a good thing. Sometimes you get your name announced as goal scorer, but to get your name announced for a card, well, that's another story. The cheer from the crowd has been quite impressive. I do believe this is exactly what we would have wanted. Corner opportunity again for Hanoi FC. Well, let's also keep you in the loop about the other game. The next semi-final will be played on the 7th of May, and that's going to be played in Thailand, when BG Pathum United face Buriram United. Buriram, of course, is a team, a couple of years back, maybe about 7 or 8 years back, they made such a big splash, and some of their players went on to the national team. They had a fantastic, really exciting team to watch, and they still are a great team. So Buriram United got the better of Pathum United 3-1 on the 2nd of April, and that was in the first leg. Now in the second leg, it's left to Pathum United to reverse that aggregate. Well, just to keep you in the loop, we've passed 90 minutes here, 6 minutes of added time. So don't forget, the next game will be in Thailand when BG Pathum United will play Buriram United in the second leg of their semi-final, and Buriram United hold a 2-goal advantage on aggregate. Well, I'll be with you for that game as well, so get used to me. I was just saying that all in fun, but I'll be there to take you through that. Wouldn't miss that for anything. And then it's going to be exciting because you're going to have one team from Thailand in there, and you're definitely going to have one of these two teams. And for what it's worth, it's looking like the Vietnamese club will be the ones. You always got to give credit where credit is due, and I've got to say, Kongan Hanoi have really performed here today. They've come in with a true desire to win. PSM Makassar have not been at their best. They were a very different team when they played in Indonesia, and they're a very different team today. That's a yellow card being handed out. And I don't even know why Alexander Polking would have picked up one. Was it Polking who was handed that, or was it one of the assistant coaches? It looked like it was Polking. Well, he was just sitting down sipping water. One of those moments where I think, the clubs really have to go back, put on their thinking cap, and really figure out what went wrong, because this isn't the round robin stage. This is pretty much a knockout, and PSM Makassar have still got a lease of life. They've still got a little over 3 minutes left to score a goal, restore parity on aggregate, and then go for, a victory. But it's all left to be seen whether, the club does that or not. And I think the PSM Makassar fans are not going to be too happy about it. And the referee, well, has to intervene here. Nguyen Flip not happy as he lashes out at Uran Fernandez. And that's what happened. There was a collision. It's a bit of a hard one there, I do believe. And it was, well, Arheim clashing there with, well, Hugo Gomes. And Arheim picking up a caution. Well, that's a good call from the referee, I do believe. It was a very, very hard challenge. Not really required, if you ask me. So, 2 goals that Kongan Hanoi have pulled out of this game, and PSM Makassar have pulled out 2 yellow cards. It's not a good equation for them, you know, to be precise.
Thẻ vàng dành cho cầu thủ số 28 của câu lạc bộ PSM Makassar, Mohamed Akham Damawan.
Once again, stepping out of his zone here, Reza, he does well, but is that going to be good enough with the second sticking away? Under 30 seconds left in this game. And as I said earlier, the Vietnamese club definitely have, you know, 1 foot across, well, 1 foot and another half foot across that line. And they pretty much seem to have, you know, sealed their position here. It's not going to be, well, good news for the PSM Makassar fans, because Kongan Hanoi have been at the top of their game in today's event. Well, the 2024-2025 ASEAN Club Championship or the Shopee Cup, well, we've got 1 more semi-final, and that's when the 2 Thai teams compete in Thailand on the 7th. And then, of course, we have the final that will be played out, and the final will be on the 14th of May and the 21st of May. The 14th of May will be probably in Vietnam if Kongan Hanoi win it, and the second leg of the final on the 21st of May will be hosted by Thailand. So if that's information good enough for you, well, it's good enough for me. And as we get into this last bit, Alexander Polking is not happy about the whistle not being blown, and there we have it. Referee finally brings this event to an end. It's been a very exciting one. Good work being done here by Kim De-yong too. But what a victory. What an absolute victory. Hugo Gomes scoring, you know, the first goal in this game and equalizing on aggregate. And then, of course, the winning goal being struck by Quai Huang of Viet An. It has been a really excellent encounter for the home team and the home fans. And the Vietnamese club have sealed their spot in the finals, where they go up against the winner of the match between VG Pathum United and Buriram United. So final score at the Hang Day Stadium, it's Công An Hanoi FC 2, PSM Makassar 0, and Công An Hanoi FC 2, PSM Makassar 1 on aggregate. And it is Công An Hanoi who become the first finalists in the 2024-25 Shopee Cup, also known as the ASEAN Club Championship. My name is Glenn Mascarenas. It's time for me to shut shop and ship out of here. I'll catch you again in Thailand with all the action from the second leg of that semi-final. Till then, you stay well and make sure you join us all over again.
ta một ca ba
viên đại diện Việt Nam lần đầu tiên có mặt tại trận chung kết Super Cup cúp dành cho các câu lạc bộ bóng đá Đông Nam Á. Lãnh đạo Bộ Công an và Công an thành phố có món quà động viên ban huấn luyện với các cầu thủ câu lạc bộ Công an Hà Nội trị giá 300 triệu đồng. Liên đoàn bóng đá Việt Nam quyết định thưởng câu lạc bộ món quà trị giá 400 triệu đồng.
Ta đi trong muôn ánh sao vàng rừng từ tung bay rộn ràng và mê say những bước chân dồn về đây Sài Gòn ơi vững tin đã bao năm rồi một ngày vui giải phóng ta mới như vang tiếng Bác Hồ dậy từ non sông rào rực rỡ hôm nay Bác vui với tuổi toàn dân thành đồng ơi sẵn son đã mang cánh hoàng ôi hạnh phúc vô biên ta đưa đi em những người yêu thương.
Thưa quý vị, chúng tôi vinh dự được trao giải ngôi sao của trận đấu Shopee cho Bùi Hoàng Việt Anh số áo 68 đến từ câu lạc bộ Công an Hà Nội vì màn trình diễn xuất sắc trong trận đấu của mình ngày hôm nay ạ.
Tiếng Việt anh ơi, có FPT.
Để sắp bay lên rồi anh chị. Rồi, ok. Rồi, sẵn sàng nhau như là anh ơi đồng ý. Ok. Hỏi.
Xin chào Bùi Việt Anh. Một trận đấu vô cùng cảm xúc ở trong một ngày vô cùng đặc biệt của đất nước ta. Cảm xúc lúc này của Việt Anh như thế nào?
Thực sự cảm xúc của em lúc này là cảm thấy rất là vui mừng bởi vì cả đội đã chiến thắng ngay tại sân nhà cũng như là ngày 30 tháng 4 của đất nước.
Ngày hôm nay thì toàn đội đã thi đấu như thế nào? Việt Anh cảm thấy như thế nào về cái tinh thần của toàn đội ở trong trận đấu ngày hôm nay?
Ngay từ hôm nay khi chuẩn bị ra sân thì toàn đội đã rất là tập trung và rất là chuẩn bị tinh thần chiến đấu 100% bởi vì ngày hôm nay là ngày rất là đặc biệt của đất nước cũng như là ngày rất là quan trọng ở trận đấu ngày hôm nay bọn em sẽ giúp bọn em vào trận chung kết.
Đây là lần đầu tiên mà câu lạc bộ Công an Hà Nội vào trận chung kết của Shopee Cup và đây cũng là lần đầu tiên giải đấu được tổ chức thì nó có ý nghĩa như thế nào với Việt Anh và toàn đội?
Chắc chắn đây là một kết quả rất là xứng đáng cũng như là rất là ý nghĩa với bản thân em cũng như là toàn đội bởi vì đây là thành quả của cả đội cả một chặng đường dài toàn đội rất là cố gắng bởi vì rất là đoàn kết đến trận hôm nay.
Một câu hỏi vui một chút thôi, tức là Việt Anh cảm thấy như thế nào về cái duyên của Công an Hà Nội khi mà thi đấu dưới mưa? Cái trận đấu đầu tiên của chúng ta mà ở tại Shopee Cup mà chúng ta thi đấu dưới mưa chúng ta cũng đã có chiến thắng rất thuyết phục trước Buriram.
Em nghĩ một phần là ngày hôm nay là do là ngày giải phóng miền Nam cũng như là thống nhất đất nước cho nên là toàn đội đã thi đấu hết mình và cố gắng hết sức để giành chiến thắng, dành tặng người hâm mộ.
Cảm ơn Việt Anh và hết tận hưởng chiến thắng ngay lúc này. Cảm ơn em.
Việt Nam đơn vị tài đồng hành chính thức của giải đấu. Cái câu lạc bộ Đông Nam Á Shopee Cup sẽ tổ chức một chương trình quay số trúng thưởng đầy hấp dẫn ngay tại sân vận động. Quý vị đừng vội ra về nhé. Hãy cùng nán lại thêm chút nữa tại sân vận động để có cơ hội trở thành chủ nhân của những phần quà đến từ ASEAN.
couldn't have a chance to reach the final. So how do you feel right now?
We feel sad. We have the chance for the go to the final, and we cannot deal with the same result of the first match. Unfortunately, yeah, we cannot give this gift to the supporter, but we give everything on the match. So we are set.
Yeah. So how do you feel about the performance of your opponent today?
They play good. On the first match, we saw they play good. They have quality. Also, we have our quality, but today we cannot score because just one goal we can go for the extra time. But today we cannot. Unfortunately, we cannot score. So,
what was the problem of your team leading to the disappointed result today? What was the problem of your team leading to the disappointed result today?
Bro,
is that the weather, rain?
No, this is not a problem. Just unfortunately, we can on the two corner we cannot make a good defensive moment. We concede a goal. Just this is the game.
Okay, thank you, and good luck to the next tournament.
Cầu thủ số 95